What's going on, gentlemen and ladies and viewers of YouTube? It's your boy John coming back to you again with another video in the morning. How rare is that? How rare is it for me to be here in the morning? It's very fucking rare, isn't it? But it's here now. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? Look at that. Look at the fog. Look at that fog. You can't really see the fog in this video, but it's there. Ah, I almost fell over. Right, so what am I here to talk about today? I'm here to talk about the one thing you're not doing in your meditation, okay? Because this is the creme de la creme of the problem that we in the West encounter, okay? I'm going to summarize it because there's a hell of a lot more information on the internet regarding this topic. So this is not a how-to video. This is not me telling you what you should and shouldn't do. It's me just explaining what I've learned about this concept and this topic, and letting the flow of consciousness just flow so you can hear what I have to say. This is a great way of me externalizing this energy source and really just sharing my being with you, man. It's just so good. I love it. This is my art form. I get to really creatively expose myself, if that makes any sense. So let's get into the crux of the video. Right, let me just understand what I'm even about to say. Okay. When we try and meditate, man, here's the thing, okay? When we're trying to meditate, ultimately what we're trying to do is get to inner peace. We're trying to find contentment, happiness, peace, okay, compassion for ourselves and others, self-love, confidence, assuredness, okay, and certainty. We want to get rid of the anxiety and replace it with confidence. We want to get rid of the neuroticism and replace it with a more stable, integral ground, right? A good foundation. But what we're forgetting is we're insane. We're fucking mad. We are loop-de-loop mad. Just think about how many directions your mind takes you in. Okay, think about the course of a human's life. The amount of conflict that's self-generated, the self-hate, the patterns of anxiety and the patterns and the endless loops of hell that you can get into with stuff like OCD and schizophrenia and depression, of course. These illnesses, these neuroticisms, okay, they're a part of our society because our society is mad, our society is crazy. Our society has all of these boxes and these conditions and these things and impressions that they tell you that you should be. And your mind is a reflection of the outer world. The inner world and the outer world come together and they create what we see as reality. Okay, the inner world and the outer world. So the outside world mirrors what goes on inside, and the inside mirrors what goes on the outside. Okay, they're both a coming together of sorts. So you've been conditioned with such garbage. You've essentially been hypnotized. You're in the matrix right now because you're living in a reality that's completely created by other people. Not you, not yourself, but by other people and other ideas and concepts and conditions and things that dictate to you how you should feel and how you are and what you should be and all this kind of stupid shit. The media, your parents, your friends, your family, your cousins, the dog on the street, the fucking random stranger that you bumped into, all these people are mirroring to you ultimately what you should be. And in the West especially, we've gotten worse over time. We've gotten worse. The condition of neurosis has gotten worse. In Freud's book, which is called Discontent, Man's Discontent with Civilization, or something along those lines. The book's essentially him arguing that whilst man has created such a safe paradise of civilization, and has created the pinnacle of comfort and luxury where man can get everything that he desires, more or less, he lives in an insufferable condition. He's in pain. He's in fear. He's constantly paralyzed with anxiety and neurosis. You know, and how do you get rid of this? The branch of psychology is very recent in Western history, if you really look at it. Only in the 20th century, really, when the Industrial Revolution took place, okay? Or when the Industrial Revolution's consequences on the human psyche were starting to show themselves, right? That's not to say that there wasn't shit going on before then. Of course there was. For as long as human civilization's been here, there's been insanity, okay? So we've got all this bullshit and we need a release, okay? It needs to be released. The garbage needs to be just thrown out. Your head is stuck with all this bullshit and it's clammed onto all these attachments and these ideas, and it's not good. It's not a good position to be in, okay? So rather than try to meditate straight on and try and tackle the problem, you will go insane if you do that. Many people have tried to meditate and they say, I can't meditate, I can't sit still, I can't watch the mind, I keep getting lost, I keep getting distracted, I lose focus. And the Buddhist monks will say, you know, you've got to focus more, you've got to try and really focus. Every time your mind wanders, just bring the attention back. And that's great. That's great at training your mind to be in the present moment and focus, sure. But I can guarantee you that when your mind gets intense, when it gets really crazy, you can't meditate. It's impossible. Because you just keep identifying with every thought that comes in. Especially if you're in a neurotic, agitated state. There's no fucking way you're going to be able to stay disidentified and remain calm as the witness. Absolutely not. Because the energy in your body is so intense at that point. Because all that energy is trapped energy. It's energy that's not allowed to free flow. Energy moves in the body, it comes in, it goes out. Okay, it's always in a natural state of flow. But when your thoughts interfere with that process, you've got the power to actually hold on to that emotion, hold on to that feeling, and keep regurgitating it, recycling it over and over again. And that's very unhealthy. That's how you reinforce a negative pattern in the mind, a negative schema, or a negative thought, or a negative impression, or a negative condition, whatever you want to call it. OCD is just that, the replaying of negative thoughts over and over and over again, because you've gotten addicted to the process. You've gotten addicted to the emotion and holding on to the feeling and just dragging it around. And it's not supposed to be dragging around. Each time you drag that feeling and thought back, you're essentially retraining the brain to just be in a constant cycle of this bullshit. So, what the ancients have said, and what I agree with, is to forget about the mind and forget about trying to control the thoughts, because that won't work. You can't control the thoughts. The thoughts will come and go as they please. They will come and they will dance and they will joke and they will laugh, and that's called Maya. That's called hypnosis. Okay, you're living in a dream world, basically. You're living in a fantasy. And, hey, there's nothing wrong with living in a fantasy. It's just that don't complain to me when your fantasy turns into a nightmare, which it pretty much it will. It will turn into a nightmare pretty soon, I think. So what we need to do is forget about the mind and get back into the body. Get back right into the body. And this is where I get into the point of the video, and I'm actually going to talk about it in part 2 of this video, because I've got a new resolution, which is to make the video shorter. Okay, so little secret between me and you, right? But anyway, I'll see you in part 2. Stay tuned for when I talk about catharsis for meditation.